Hello everyone, my name is Sean Hester with Revizto, and today we are going to walk through some of the metadata that is associated with issues in the issue tracker. Let's start by making sure we're in that issue tracker module. So we're going to click on that. And then the minimize maximize button of the issue tracker is one that you guys will be using quite a bit as you're using the issue tracker. Now, there's a couple of different metadata sources that we have within Revizto IssueTracker. One is going to be the metadata that comes into issues as they're brought in. Let's say, for instance, from a clash detection perspective. If we scroll down to a couple of these issues here, you can see that we are actually tracking the metadata that's coming in from Navisworks. We have the different clashes that are making up a specific clash group. But on the right hand side here, you're going to see that metadata associated with what file it's coming from, what category it's part of, if it's part of a Revit category, as well as grid location and level. So that's some of the metadata that comes in automatically through that clash syncing process. Now, the other sources of metadata are what we talk about in our information column over here. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can add information to issues that are in the issue tracker. Okay, so for instance, I'm still on a clash detection issue right now. We have that clash type right here. It's a clash issue. All right, I'm going to minimize a little bit here. And what we're seeing here is that we have some information associated with this issue, and this is part of that information column. Something that is talked about when we talk about the issue tracker. But any of this information would also be considered metadata that we can track, we can report on, we can better organize issues within the issue tracker. So for instance, if we're changing this to in progress, if we're adding a specific priority to this issue, right? We already have an assignee here. We also have watchers already. And then tagging. Tagging is another way to organize issues within the issue tracker. Whether I'm tagging by a specific coordination meeting that's coming up, right? Or maybe it's an area that we're breaking the project into, or if we're calling out a specific company or trade or discipline that's part of this issue. But as I said, this is all information that we can later, filter with our custom filters, report on through our reporting system, or organize better down the line here. So if I come into my custom filters, you'll see here that we can start to look at all the different ways that we can sort through this. And this is all relying on that metadata that's associated with the issue itself. So if I want to come in here and look at a specific tag, let's look at all the issues we talked about in that meeting, that coordination meeting on the 30th of April. And maybe I want to look at a specific status as well. Maybe we just want to look at the in progress issues. Okay. Now you can see that we're really diving down into more digestible chunks in the issue tracker. Smaller lists of issues, things that we want to discuss specifically at that time in a meeting, right? And it's all relying on the metadata that we have over here in that information column. And there's a lot of different ways that you can customize this, right? Whether it is by deadline, right? Adding a deadline and being able to sort by specific day increments, right? These are the 4 issues, that are due in the next 7 days out of all of the issues in my project. And again, that's all associated with a metadata that we have in the deadline portion of this issue itself. Now, as I said, this is also going to be part of the reporting side of Revizto. All of this information is also how we track metrics and reports on the issues. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my web browser here. Okay. And we're going to take a look at the reporting side of what we can do there, whether it's lists of reports or specific dashboards. Right now I'm looking in my coordination dashboard. So what we can do is we can go in here and add a specific chart, And we can start to look at the ways we can filter the information. Again, and this is all based upon that metadata that we have within the project. Back to that meeting that we were talking about here. All the issues that we had in that specific meeting, we are now looking at because we are tracking that from the metadata of the issues itself. Thank you for listening in on how we can use the issue tracker issues metadata to further work with the issues.